5,000 above sea level, 5,000 feet to be precise, above sea level is the venue of the next match in Dharamshala. We welcome back Siddharth, who has had 2 days of chutti. I hope it has not just been, you didn't spend it at home, otherwise again you will say, my life is, मेरी life तो बर्बाद हो गई है, like she says in Queen.
I know.
Only घर, that line.
घर का function.
अरे तो बर्बाद हो गई है.
This time तो घर का function.
No, you only say I'm either at home or I'm at work. Home.
Work.
Any
I hope you went
any
to
getaway for you?
park or a
No getaway.
No time. Because there was a function at home. That's why.
so that's a party, na. Home is not.
Yeah.
As
You weren't doing the mundane thing, na?
No, not really. Not a mundane thing.
Yeah, something different.
Yes. Yes. But I would rather be in Dharamshala at this point where all the action is.
That's a different matter altogether.
That's a different matter, yes. But yeah, that's my test debut.
You've covered a game.
I have covered a game there. Test debut 2017 Border Gavaskar Trophy.
Off.
The only test match to have taken place in Dharamshala. Lucky bum, you were there.
I was there.
Yeah.
This is the second test match ever to be played there. Of course, there was going to be a
2023
BGT test match
yes.
there, which could not happen.
Yeah.
And that was shifted to Indore, if I'm not
Indore.
mistaken.
Yes.
But this is then the second test match, and
So
plenty to talk about
Yeah.
in terms of the pitch conditions, the players.
Yep.
England have already announced their 11, so
the England fans at least won't have the kind of grouse that the Australian fans had, because remember all the chaos that had happened, bookings had to be changed, reimbursements, it was all very last minute. You mentioned 5,000, interesting enough, I read somewhere that there's just about 5,000 odd fans that have travelled also for this match, because it's just a venue everyone wants to be at.
So a lot of fans in advance, because people look at Bami Ami, not everyone goes through the 5 tests.
Yeah.
The fan club keeps having
Package
fans going
tours,
back
yeah.
and coming back, some coming for 1 or 2 tests, the other for just the 3rd test, somebody for the 4th, some staying on for 3 tests, so it keeps changing. But I knew that once the package would have been decided, the Bami Ami travel agency, Dharamshala would have been the first on everyone's list. They would have tried to be there, and you're right. There are about 5,000 odd fans that have landed up there. I even saw their headquarters, and no surprise, what would their headquarters be? The closest bar to the ground.
Of course.
That is, because I did see them put out a social media post.
Leo's, no, isn't it?
No. I don't know what it's called, but it's at the Center Point Hotel, which is one of the closest hotel to the ground.
Yep.
So a Bami Army headquarter had to be a pub or a bar. So they identified one good one close to the ground. So there's a hotel Center Point where they have a nice pub on the top.
Top floor, yeah.
Yeah, top floor.
Yes.
So from where you get a nice view as well. That they've identified. So pre-game meetings and post-game meetings will happen there. As is the culture in UK, by the way. If you watch cricket in the UK, test matches especially, I remember like Oval, Lords, Nottingham, wherever you are, they have these pubs right outside the ground, and typically you will see 6 o'clock, the game is done, everyone comes out, they don't go home, they all get inside those pubs and they are packed, and they are there till whatever 9, 10, whatever, and back the next day for the next day's play. Again,
The
6
same drill.
PM done.
In fact, it's the same with football as well. Just that there in the build-up to a game as well, because you've got every stadium, in fact, has got plenty of bars around, plenty of pubs where fans get together. They're of course having some bevy. They're getting in together.
The advantage with football is you start before the game and you continue after the game. In cricket, you don't start before.
So here you start, and then of course hordes of fans, then make their way to the stadium, chanting their way to the stadium.
Another difference. In cricket, in the grounds, a lot of grounds, you can buy your booze inside, which is what the England fans have in cricket. A lot of football grounds don't allow it.
No, but Premier League is not allowed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so Premier League, you can't. So that's why they go to the pubs
Yes.
and go, and then the game is short, 90 minutes, and then they come out.
You do get your choice of alcoholic beverage, just that you can't take it to the stands. So it's there, but you can't take it to the stands.
No. I think it's a couple of the games I saw, there was not available. You could get it if you were in one of those season pass ticket holder areas and all.
So I remember I went to Old Trafford 2019. And then I had my aspirations as well of, let's say, being at the stands, and lucky enough I got a ticket at the Stretford Net. But that's when I got to know, and I didn't have any season ticket. So let's say you can, whatever time there is there where you have food, this beverage as well. So you can go have it there in that area, but you can't bring it to the stands. And there's
Yeah, because for security purposes.
Security
people will chuck
purposes.
the
Yeah.
glasses and bottles and whatever. You
Yeah.
know how aggressive the fans
Yeah.
can get. Anyway.
especially the English fans.
No, but the Barmy Army fans have been fantastic. They've
Yep.
got their trumpet and he keeps playing
Oh,
it through
excellent.
the day. Amazing, renditions of some of the very popular songs.
Even
Kalpana
Hindi
Ho.
songs.
Yeah, but I mean, he plays a lot of Elton John and
Yeah.
Go West
Go
by
West.
Pet Shop Boys, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe, yes.
Yeah, and a few others.
And there is also a painter that is accompanying them. Fantastic painting. And he's got the ultimate canvas at Dharamshala. I mean, what a backdrop. I mean, the Dhauladhar mountains, snow capped, and especially when the sun rises, those orange dawnlit mountains. What a sight.
Tomorrow's canvas is going to get him the most amount of money if he is to put it to auction. Interesting enough, the hat that he is wearing, in fact, all the stadiums that you've been to, so 4 of them till now, he's got the logos of all the state associations on his cap. So all 4 sides are covered. One was just wondering if there's going to be one over here or where, because he's got logos of all 4.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the HPCA logo also
HCA,
will then be featuring on his
SCA.
cap tomorrow.
JSCA.
The one thing that's a bummer, though the final venue is great, the one thing that I'm sure all of you are experiencing, much like what we are, is the big gap. So, imagine the series was so much, fun to watch. There was a lot of momentum that we had gotten into. And then suddenly you have this situation of a long break, which you had earlier as well, but
Yes.
somehow that momentum continued. Here we did see a drop in the momentum, and for the test match to start now, it's like, you're watching a film, and a good film at that, there's an interval, and that interval just drags on and on and on.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty much like that. So I wish this gap was shorter. And it's also been compounded by the fact, the pain of the wait, it's also made it worse by the fact that India had won the series. Had it been 2-2 and you had this long break, it would have been a different feeling. You would have still had a lot of analysis going forward. But because India had won the series and you're sitting there, this gap has been...
Which is
not
why
ideal.
even after this break, you don't know what to look forward. There can't be a climax to the series. There can't be an anti-climax either.
You can celebrate individuals. That this celebration.
I know what you're getting to.
Yeah. It is. That is the only way.
There are 2, not just 1.
There are 2.
Yeah. There are 2 individuals who you can celebrate at Dharamshala, and also.
And by the end of it, there could be more individuals you can celebrate.
Yes.
See, right? This is at the start. 2 centurions
Yeah.
that you're going to see.
Yep.
Before even, I don't think Bairstow has now got it in him to get a test century. At least this century
He
will
can.
be his only century on this Indian tour.
Yeah.
Most likely.
And he's got a very good connection with Dharamshala. His 100th ODI
Yeah.
was also in Dharamshala. England versus Bangladesh.
World Cup.
Yep. And he's going to play his 100th test at Dharamshala.
Wow.
That's a script.
That's a really good script. And he writes his own script, isn't it? Johnny Bairstow. I mean, everybody is spanning him for being the worst cricketer to play 100 tests. But he's hung in. He's
But he
good.
makes a compelling case.
He does. He does.
Yeah, he's got actually one of the lowest averages.
37, right?
34, I think. 36 sort of thing. Somebody like a Ian Healy, imagine, for all the good work that he done. Even he features in the lowest averages
But
at
he
100.
was a brilliant keeper.
Correct.
Yes.
That's what I said. Don't look at Healy, the batter. Yes, not great. Didn't also look aesthetically very good.
You know, he had
You
such
know,
a crouching stance.
Crouching stance and never the
36,
most
yeah.
glorious of the batters. But it was a keeper, and that's why he was such a good keeper that Adam Gilchrist, who had been making waves in domestic cricket, had to wait.
Yeah.
Yep. For 4 years he had to wait at
Yes.
So
least.
he need to go.
So that is why. But Bairstow, see, even he's a keeper. But he's always polarized opinion in more ways than one. His keeping wasn't good. That's why Ben Foakes has been your keeper overseas.
He lost you the Ashes. I'm sorry.
He lost you the Ashes. Absolutely. I
The
mean,
keeper. Bairstow the keeper.
keeper didn't know that you can't wander out the crease.
Yes.
Keeper run out.
No, he knew. He tried doing that to Travis Head.
And to Manas Labuschagne.
Yeah.
Skakne.
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 Labus Skakne. So that is why. I will remember Johnny Bairstow. Okay, he's got brilliant hundreds in Edgbaston against India. He's got a double hundred against, not 100 against South Africa and Cape Town. That partnership with Ben Stokes. But apart from that, I remember him more for his infamy rather than.
I will remember him for his golf for sure.
Oh yeah, but that also is in infamy.
Yeah, it is.
He broke his leg so badly that,
Oof.
yeah, I know, what did he do?
That visual itself would, just it was.
But on the whole, again, I'm sure his father would be a very proud
David
man,
Bairstow.
Yes.
looking from the heavens, looking at him. He didn't have a great childhood. Reading stories about him, which I had read earlier. His father was a cricketer too, for England, but then committed suicide. And when he was just 8, Johnny Bairstow, and his mother brought up the kids, and she herself fought 2 rounds of cancer, right?
Yeah.
So she defeated cancer to raise her kid, and then for him to go on there. So everyone has a story. While because why I brought that up, because sometimes it's very easy for us to comment on social media and say things like, "Oh, the worst cricketer," and so on and so forth. Excuse me, he's played cricket. Firstly, I mean, just the whole journey, the tough journey that I spoke to you about, from there to emerge as a professional cricketer, then to get a chance to play for your country. How many people get that, to get your country's cap, and then to go on and play 100 test matches? I think in the 17th Englishman to do it, that itself is a massive achievement. So hats off then to Johnny Bairstow.
77 and 78 players in the list now tomorrow, and on
Yes.
8 you'll have 79 and 80.
Yes, 2
Tim
more.
Southee and Kane Williamson are going to join that list on 8th.
Look how he's beaming with smile now. 2 Kiwis also.
And
into this.
Ash.
And Ash, all happening the same week.
Kiwi, no, I always liked them, always supported them, but just have that one point. I'm not happy with them including Kugelainen in
Yes,
the team.
absolutely.
Not really happy because you consider them as nice guys.
But the history that Kugelainen has, it's unfortunate that it is a black mark that divides a lot of.
That's where nice guys, because I respect them, and I was also heartbroken when they lost that final. And New Zealand per se, I've travelled to New Zealand to cover cricket, and I, without doubt, the friendliest people that I've met. Really nice country, beautiful, really cricket loving people, nice people, even the players. And I have some very good friends from the Kiwi ranks, Dan Vittori and so on. I've worked with them for very long. Amazing guys, I absolutely love them. But because we keep them at such a high pedestal and treat them, as the nice guys of cricket, was the least expected from them. Included,
their silence
somebody
is very disturbing in this kind of an issue. So that's a thing that has divided New Zealand cricket for quite some time now. And also, you remember Scott Kugelainen had also come in CSK, and there was a lot of furor over why he was picked. So that's
like in Nepal's case, they were playing
Lami
Chane, but at that time that matter was still in court and whatever, and now they've again dropped him from the team after he was convicted.
Now he's
You can't. I mean, look at just recently, Barcelona stripped Dani Alves of the legend status. And he was a legend, no doubt. I support that club. And so after his conviction, they've stripped him from that club legend title that they had given him.
And I think New Zealand are not doing any favors by how they are treating Neil Wagner at this point.
Oh yeah. Nice guys, man. What is happening?
I think they are shedding
They
that
forced
image
him.
now.
I heard Ross Taylor.
It was a forced. It sounded like a forced retirement. But then Kane Williamson saying that, see, you can't force anybody to retire. It's just that it didn't work out the way it should have been.
hard talk, and you can maybe.
I don't know. I mean, see.
Let's not forget Riddhiman Saha's case.
What
also
wrong
not
did
too long
Wagner
back.
do? Even at 36, 35, he's been bowling brilliantly. What wrong did he do? That's the thing. And Wagner, I mean, I'll remember him forever for being that last generation of workhorses. Bowling into the wind, bowling with 2 broken toes, and still winning you games. He bowled 27 overs with 2 broken toes.
I remember him for a bowler, never bowled a half volley.
Never. And I remember
Don't
him.
think he ever bowled a half volley.
2014, he was the guy who broke the game over by getting Dhoni out in Auckland. 2014. Chase of 406. India made 366. They lost by only 40 runs in Auckland. So it was Neil Wagner who did it.
Okay, from the beautiful New Zealand,
Yeah,
and
too beautiful
not
Dharamshala.
necessarily nice guys.
Yeah.
That's
Too
taken a dent, that image,
Yeah.
definitely, with 2 cases in point. Anyway, coming to Dharamshala, and what we were talking, that gap wasn't great. India has won the series. What is the best thing to look forward to? One, as you mentioned, are individual landmarks. I agree. But the other thing, because it is come from the England camp, and Ben Stokes said it himself, he says that 3-2 sounds a lot better than 4-1, because you're hardly getting any draws now. So typically either 4-1, 3-2. So in England's mind, 3-2 does make a difference. Yes, they're not winning a series, but they're determined to make it 3-2, because 4-1, and honestly, 4-1 would be any other England tour. How would
Baseball
this
be different?
team, baseball, positive thinking, Ben Stokes' team, that, by the way, have pushed India all the way. I agree. They won the first test match. The remaining test matches have also been very, very close, barring the third match to an extent where India just were the runaway winners. But overall, if you take a look at the way the series has panned out, I mean, it doesn't look like a 4-1 series. It could well be. It's not been that one-sided.
I mean, you have to listen to Rohit Sharma in that press conference. He himself stated that, look, we were pushed in this series. I mean, let not the scoreline fool you, because even England themselves said we haven't been pushovers. Absolutely not. I mean, we are generous that India were runaway victors in Rajkot, but we weren't sure until day 2. Until day 2, when they had made 207 for 2, Rohit, that's why he said we are behind the game on most occasions and pulled things back. But throughout the series, and that too, he's done it with players who are not exposed to this kind of pressure. I mean, Jaiswal, you look at Sarfaraz, you look at Dhruv Jurel, you didn't have a Virat Kohli, you didn't have a Mohammad Shami, gun players in both batting and bowling. And Rohit himself admitted, throughout my captaincy tenure, I never played with a full strength side.
Yeah. Well, he also said that, that's not something he would ever look at as an excuse.
Yeah.
It's the resources that you have, and that's what you got to
Why
do.
should you look at it as an excuse? He's won the series. He's undefeated at home.
He was just talking about his mindset, let's say, as a captain, because he's like, I've never really, thought too much into the resources that I have or I don't. Whatever it is, it is.
So that is why this series, I can argue 50-50 that it has been very competitive. But I thought even Australia had put up a competitive thing.
Last year?
Yeah, in the BGT, yes. I mean, they had gotten you to the brink of panic. Like, you had to prepare a featherbed in Ahmedabad. Had they not squandered the advantage, and how England squandered their advantage in Ranchi, if Australia had not squandered it in Delhi, it would well have been 2-1 in Australia's favour.
The last 3 teams to have given India some sort of competition, last 2 teams that I can think of are both been England and Australia. Australia 2017, then last year as BGT, both times. England also, and I'm not looking at the series that they won in 2013, 12-13, I'm not looking at that. But after that, even the series that came in 2021, they started off with a win.
Yeah.
And then you had to rely on those kind of conditions. There too, Rohit Sharma had to play some outstanding knocks, to help you. So even they kind of pushed you, even in that series. Though of course the scoreline at the end won't show. So both England as well as Australia have been kind of competitive when they've come to England shores, and this England team is just carrying on from that.
Yup, I mean, see, only twice in your 21st century has a team won 2 tests or more in India. That was Australia in 2004 and England in 2012. That is the only 2 times that you look at it that India have lost proper. Otherwise, you look at it, South Africa has always been 1-1, 1-1, but then after that, it's never been the same. Sri Lanka have hardly put up a fight, so have New Zealand. So has West Indies, hardly a fight. So it's only been England and Australia. And Australia also, they had to wait close to 13 years to get a test win in India after 2004. So they are an absolute beast, India. And making it 4-1 will only sum up 2 things. One, good luck in beating this Indian cricket team with whatever strength they have.
At home.
At home, I'm saying. Second, you can say with safety, it's the rest in peace baseball cricket.
That I'm not sure. But I will agree that for the very first time, the proponents of baseball, the leaders at Stokes and Brendan McCullum, they've changed their plan. Whatever they might say, that no, we're still baseball is playing it. For the first time, I saw them move away. Last test was ample proof that they changed course. Before this, they've been in tough situations in various series. They've never changed course. For the first time, they've changed course. Today, Rohit Sharma came and said that I don't even know what baseball means. But in his own opinion, that baseball was to go hell for leather, and he says clearly that's not what the England team has done here.
Yeah.
So I don't know what baseball is, but if baseball is indeed going hell for leather, that's not what they've done. So they've clearly changed course. Whatever they might say in front of the media, that I will consider as lip service. This Indian team has forced them to change that approach by not even giving those rank turners. Though even you spoke about those rank turners, they've not even given those, very spin-friendly bats that you were being given. That also has not happened. So England have changed course from there 110,000%. And credit to Rohit Sharma and team to have changed that.
Yeah, I mean,
there were a few good knocks. The way Crawley played last match, the way Ollie Pope played
in Hyderabad,
the one innings that you saw from Ben Duckett as well. But besides that, there were various junctures. Let's just go back to the first test match as well in Hyderabad. You looked at how the first session panned out for England. Again, that was their lowest since the time baseball started to happen. That was the lowest run rate. Again, it was less than 4, and that stat I saw recur many times in the series as well, how in many sessions they were scoring at less than 4. Yeah, apart from those individual performances which were, let's say, in excess of 100 strike rate, but not many batters. Look at somebody like Ben Stokes. He's not been able to carry the brand of baseball himself, or play to the baseball brand himself this whole series.
Yeah, I mean, see, I wish, if baseball has to thrive, if that situation has to thrive, look at in the past how the teams, they are not the first proponents of aggressive cricket by any stretch of the imagination.
What did Rohit Sharma say today when he was asked about Duckett's comment that maybe the Indian team can learn a thing or two with our baseball approach? What did Rohit Sharma say?
Ben Duckett, you remember in the Rajkot test match, had said the way how we play aggressive cricket, some teams should take a cue from us. We can get teams to learn from us how to play aggressive cricket. That's what Duckett had stated. But then Rohit Sharma said that with his own swag. I think there was this guy called Rishabh Pant in our team. Probably Ben Duckett has never seen him play. They have played, that point was just an afterthought, that they have played better cricket than the last series.
But he made his point.
He made his point. Yeah. Were they the first ever proponents of aggressive cricket, England? By no stretch of the imagination. The West Indies team of the 70s and the 80s would say, hold my beer. The Australian teams of the under Ponting era.
Too many beer references in the show today.
I know.
To edit a lot of them out.
Too many.
Started the program with that, and you could have thought of any other analogy, but you just picked that.
Okay, well, what would you have to say then? If the West
You would
Indies
have said, excuse me. Something.
Excuse me, what about, did the West Indies team play a different kind of cricket? Did Australia
but
the Ponting era play a different kind of
there's
cricket?
a difference. There is a difference. Again, that was again, you would see aggressive brand of cricket, let's say from one cricketer or two. You won't see the entire team sort of adopt that philosophy, which we've seen, let's say, happen in England, which we've seen, say, happen in Pakistan as well, where everyone was playing. You've seen somebody like a Joe Root transform the way. So let's give England the credit.
Okay, that's not the only difference. There's another difference. Mindless declarations.
Exactly.
And
Everything put together is a part and parcel.
Eventually he has a point. There was a difference. Stupid shot, mindless declaration.
So, okay,
there is a difference.
you mean to say that the West Indies team, a Greenwich, a Haynes, a Lloyd, a Richards, a Dujon, they all played very conservative cricket, a Logie, Gus Logie. You mean to say that Hayden, Langer, Ponting, Simons, Gilchrist, Martin, they all played very different kind of game. Only one guy was playing. No.
Again, it's a team. You will say and we've seen, let's say, those blistering knocks. Let's say if you see it, let's say from a Simon, not necessarily are you always seeing it from a Hayden. Yes, Hayden would give you those starts. Ponting will give you those runs in the middle, but
Gilchrist will in the end.
But not all. Again, this is a team philosophy.
Martin as well.
Martin, Michael Clark.
But again,
I can understand in the Indian context because there was only one or two who played in that way. There was a Virat Kohli, there was a Virendra Sehwag, there is a Rishabh Pant, and MS Dhoni to a certain extent. MS Dhoni, not always, but most of the times he would play aggressive. But that was only one player. The others would be like, you can't expect a Dravid to be like baseball. You couldn't expect a Tendulkar. Tendulkar had his own style. Ganguly had his own style. Lakshman had his own style.
But that's the point he made. that
Only
England,
agree in the
everyone was-
India
Every-
context,
we've
not in
seen-
the Australian or the West
We've
Indies
seen
context.
somebody like a Joe Root transform his game altogether.
No, they see. I mean,
just to blend into the team's philosophy.
see, there was something distinctly different that they were doing. Let's be honest about it. And there were other teams that did. I agree, but it seemed like a conscious decision. I mean, most examples that you gave were, I think, they were naturally aggressive players, and they adapted. They sometimes, if the conditions demanded them to really dig their heels in, they would do that as well. But this, at a lot of points, I got the feeling that they had made up their mind. Come what may, we're attacking. I mean, that's the kind of approach they had. This is that series where I think they've given up on that, however the results happen. But have they given up on the series? I want to get back to the particular series and the question that we are asking. Leading right now 3-1, can England make 8-3-2 or does India make it 4-1? That's the question that all three of us will try and answer. But before we answer that question, let's bring you the latest updates from Dharamshala. And the first thing that you definitely would want to know is how the pitch is looking, and every day it keeps changing. We showed you the images from yesterday, how the pitch was looking. Has it changed a lot today? That's what we'll try and show you very shortly in terms of how the pitch looks just today. So these are fresh images of the pitch from Dharamshala. Today it looks even drier compared to yesterday, and I had said this yesterday, and my opinion does not change today, that you can keep harping about Dharamshala and how it assists fast bowlers. To me, the first look tells me that this is a drier surface, a surface that will not be just for out and out pacers. The pitch itself will have a lot of help for the spinners as well. Yeah, overcast conditions, the atmosphere is another thing which we'll get to. But I'm just right now sticking to the pitch. And just the fact, we saw it in the picture yesterday, not quite visible here, in terms of the color of the sand or the soil just next to the pitch vis-a-vis the pitch, there was a big difference. So the pitch per se has been devoid of water. It's been kept dry to help fast bowlers. If I'm not mistaken, and I think I remember correctly, the Rajkot pitch had more grass than this pitch. The Rajkot pitch in this particular series had more grass than this pitch. So completely whatever grass is there has been removed. It's been kept dry, no watering, even though there have been rains in that area, but the pitch has definitely been covered. And while the rest of the ground has a lot of moisture underneath, the pitch itself is very dry, makes for spin bowlers to do their trick, and that impression hasn't changed. Whether India plays 3 fast bowlers or 2, we'll get to that because we'll look at the statements also coming out. But just on the pitch.
Well, I mean, it has that same texture that I saw in 2017 also. But 2017, what aided it was the hardness of the pitch. There you got extra bounce and you got extra zip in that game versus Australia. But towards afternoon, when the temperatures rose, you could get spin also. That is why this pitch will aid both fast bowlers and spinners, right from day one itself. Right from day one. But it won't be prodigious turn. And looking at this wicket, you would want the level to be very hard. You want the pitch to be slightly harder so that for that extra bounce.
I feel like it's going to be a hard track in Dharamshala. It'll be a nice, hard, bouncy track.
That will be your X factor in Dharamshala, the bounce.
The fact that, I see an even spread of grass, let's say, especially on this side.
No, that's dead grass.
Yeah,
Just to hold the pitch
it's again, this is something we couldn't see yesterday. Again, when I see this even spread of grass, it still sort of makes me feel, yes, maybe India could be tempted to play another pacer. So 3 pacers, as I was saying yesterday as well, doesn't quite, I don't know, not the...
Sure. We'll get what Rohit Sharma has said because that's in line with what you're saying. So Rohit Sharma was asked about 3 fast bowlers, and we'll have that particular quote of Rohit Sharma up, and he says something similar to what you're saying. He said, this is Rohit saying, now we've got the picture of Jasprit Bumrah because we're talking about fast bowlers, but what Rohit Sharma said was, there is a good chance to play that extra seamer. We have not completely decided on it, but there is a good chance. That itself is a big hint. What do you make of that?
See, Dharamshala is that one venue where you will get pace bowling assistance. You can play with just 2 spinners. You can play 3 pacers. This is the only deck that will offer you that option.
What is the statement telling you
The statement is telling me that I think they will stick to the two pace bowlers theory. They are not good because
But here he says good chance. He needn't have said that if he was really not contemplating.
England, if you look at it, they have gone with two paces.
But again, I won't see too much into what England have done because that's again been two very different approaches. England have played with one seamer also when India have always fielded two in the series. We've seen that happen in the past as well. So I think the way the two teams have their approaches, I'm not too sure if too much of it is determined by, let's say, the surface because both have had different interpretations.
Because
Let's
look,
have the England squad up.
because see, the thing is, lateral movement is not the thing otherwise you would have persisted with Ollie Robinson. But they have brought in Wood, who's a hit the deck. So that is why that extra bounce factor that is there.
Ollie Robinson would have made a case as a batter much more than a bowler, I think, after what we saw him.
So both your points are, it's an interesting point. You feel that Robinson is out because he looked listless with the ball in the previous test match. So it's mostly to do with form. Okay.
To add to that, because Brendan McCullum did go on and say why he was bowling, let's say, slow, was because he had picked up a bit of a twinge, let's say, while he was batting. He got that 50 and it was during that knock that he had a bit of a twinge, which is why that speed sort of dropped. We saw him bowl lesser than 120 Ks as well.
So why didn't he convert into an off spinner?
But of course, this is again if he could
has
have
done it.
Yes, he's done it against Australia.
But that time he needed a fast bowler. No, but just on that point that he had a niggle, let's say, and that reduced his pace. But the fact is he's not carrying it. There are no reports of him carrying it.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know about that yet. But I'm still saying because it's Dharamshala, it would have just made more sense to bring in a speedster like Mark Wood again.
No, but that's interesting what Siddharth points out. So firstly, that I don't think the niggle is an issue because if it was, see, Shoaib Bashir as well as Mark Wood have a stomach bug on the eve of the game, even today. Yet they've named him in the 11, so they are wanting to go with their best team. If niggle was an issue with a Robinson, they would have named him, and if he was not fit on the morning of the test match, would have done, made a change. You're allowed to do that. This is not cast in stone. But the fact that he's not there, I think it's not got to do with the niggle. I think it could do, well, one, as you say, maybe his form. But the two, which is the interesting bit, and that actually, why I'm reading into this is going to give us an idea as to how the pitch is going to do.
Yep.
If you've gone with a Mark Wood, more hit the deck bowler, then I think at least England's assessment is, one, that the fact that they've not played three fast bowlers is telling. That tells you what the pitch is going to be like. And which is why I'd be surprised if India go in with three fast bowlers. England could have very well too included a Robinson there. And it's not that, Hartley and Bashir are like match winners in spinners. Even though they've had decent outings in the limited opportunity, you could have still thought of a pacer. But the fact that they got Mark Wood tells you that it's going to be the bounce that could be more dangerous than lateral movement. Even though the altitude, the light wind there, the air, all of that, overcast conditions that are expected, at least on the first day, that would have helped some lateral movement as well. Yet they've gone with a hit the deck bowler in Mark Wood, telling me that over the course of a 5-day of the test match, that good bounce is going to be the undoing of batters rather than any sort of movement in the air. Which then tells me, looking at this England team and the pitch that I've seen, I'm getting a feeling that India will go in with their three spinners. So see, your two spinners in Kuldeep and Ashwin would play. Ashwin and Jadeja would play. The only one you would probably leave out would have been a Kuldeep and then accommodated an Akashdeep. I don't think India is going to do that. I think that extra bounce, and what is interesting is if bounce is the thing that is going to do the trick, then you've got the three best spinners to take use of that.
Yep.
In a Jadeja, in an Ashwin and in a Kuldeep. So if bounce is the one X factor for bowlers on this pitch, if I'm captain, I'm picking my three spinners and I'm taking my two fast bowlers. Even though Rohit Sharma has not said it, I'd be very surprised if he plays three fast bowlers.
Because see, you would not want to compromise on your batting depth also. So you have to play Jaddu and Ashwin. You got Siraj. You got a Bumrah who's come back. Bumrah on this deck, he will be your hit the deck as well as swing bowler.
Any deck. He's your X factor.
Siraj also. Siraj will be very good on this wicket. You saw in 2017 again, who are the bowlers who made a big difference? Umesh Yadav, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Kuldeep Yadav. And even Jaddu with the bat. So Kuldeep knows the conditions in Dharamshala well, and that is why he will be your X factor in that sense.
I wonder though, because nowadays you look at a lot of data as well. I wonder, just to reiterate what Harshit was saying, where he thinks three fast ball, I wonder whether the recent record will have anything to do with it. And I'm not looking at that test match that happened in 2017, different time. So you will only go to see recent results.
Ranji.
There 18 wickets were taken out of the 32 have fallen in that test match, 2017 by spinners. So that you have a reference point of a test match.
Yep.
But in Ranji Trophy, the last match, all 36 wickets in that Himachal Pradesh game, Delhi, Himachal Pradesh were taken by fast bowlers. 4 Ranji games that have happened there this season, 122 wickets have been picked by fast bowlers, and guess how many by spinners in those 4 Ranji games? 122 by pacers. Just a guess, how many wickets by spinners?
25 odd.
20, 25, 7.
Whoa,
that's
so
a telling
122
stat.
wickets by pacers, 7 wickets by spinners in the 4 Ranji games that have happened in this season in Dharamshala. Now,
And it's the same pitch.
now, with that in mind, we'll all three answer that. With that in mind, are you now tempted to go with 3 fast bowlers as Rohit Sharma is saying?
No. Still no, because see, Bumrah and Siraj, they can manage with that workload in that sense, but you need 3 spinners. Because England's main problem is spin. So Kuldeep has given you wickets at
They've been susceptible to pace as well.
I mean, yeah, Akashdeep in Ranchi,
pace of
Siraj
Bumrah throughout,
Bumrah throughout, yeah, the 6 that he took, they got troubled by Akashdeep's opening burst.
But see, you've gotten a Bumrah, and if there was no Bumrah, then I would agree. Okay, maybe you would have had to fit in 3 pacers. Maybe. If there was no Bumrah, maybe you needed a Mukesh, you needed an Akashdeep, you needed a Siraj. But with Bumrah there, you don't need another pacer. With Siraj also there. And 3 spinners and 2 fast bowlers has been India's strength in this series. Instead of Kuldeep, you had an Aksar in the start. Now Kuldeep has chipped in, he got you those crucial strikes in Vizag. And you want to see a sporting deck. So in the sporting deck, why don't you get this combination?
Okay, fair point. What about you? 122 for pacers, 7 for spinners.
Again, regardless of that, I think because again...
Oh, that's going to be something that you'll consider.
Yeah, I'm just saying it only sort of adds to, or gives me more...
Ammunition.
I won't say conviction, but again, because I frankly won't see a lot into what England have done with their 11, because I think that's got nothing to do with what India have done, because both teams have looked at all pitches very differently, and especially given how England went ahead and made those first 11 choices or playing 11 choices in the first 2 tests was very different to the way India sort of perceived things. To add to that, because of that even spread of grass, which could, as you suggest, could be just enough to hold the deck together. I'm putting together everything, overcast conditions, the reputation of the venue, Jasprit Bumrah back, Akashdeep showing promise, series sealed, everything put together, and when I see those Ranji numbers as well, then on top of that, the personal, let's say, little opinion or a bias that I have here, because I want to see more of Akashdeep. There's a BGT I want to be looking forward to as well, and I want to know what my options are. I want to be playing 3 fast bowlers.
Just before Nikhil answers, in those matches, I think the grass cover would have been far more than the test match that you're seeing. Because you see, up in the northern part of the country, there is a tendency to have extra grass, except Delhi. You look at all the other venues, there is extra grass. So I think in Dharamshala and all the other places, you had an extra layer of grass for those games. But in a test match, it's different. Which is why I think pacers in Dharamshala during the Ranji games get far more purchase. Maybe that is the theory, because Ranji pitches will be different. You said no, same pitch. No. It may be different pitches.
No, but Johnny Bairstow said it's a used pitch.
The Delhi Himachal, yeah, but are you seriously? If you think that England have interpreted things differently, how can I interpret Bairstow's interpretation?
It could just be another brain fade of the baseball era, where to add to just declarations.
I don't think he would have interpreted it differently. I doubt that he made a mistake. It's a used pitch. It may be the same pitch as the one used for the previous Ranji game, but that the same pitch can be prepared differently is my point. And which is why if you were to ask me, I'm not looking at those Ranji numbers seriously. I looked at those numbers, but I'm not looking at it seriously, because in Ranji Trophy, a lot of times, to give advantage to the home team, especially when you're the underdog, you do prepare pitches which are not really conducive to batting. Low scoring games tend to help teams, and especially in Himachal's case, they may have prepared those pitches. could have been low scoring encounters where fast bowlers really come to the party. It helps the home team do that. What would help the home team now? It's a no-brainer. India have played this entire series with good batting pitches that have towards the latter half of the test match helped spinners, and I think that would have continued. The way the pitch is looking now, I am 100% sure this was under preparation for weeks on to look like this. So it's going to be very different to the pitches that we saw during those Ranji games where 122 wickets went to fast bowlers vis-a-vis 7 to spinners, which is why I think that India will go in with those 3 spinners. Why I think Rohit's not made up his mind is sometimes we just keep looking at the pitch, but he's also looking at the atmospheric conditions. And if it is going to be overcast conditions, for the period of 2 to 3 days as is expected out of the 5, and because of the altitude that you are in, maybe that's what is tempting him to go with 3 fast bowlers. I'd be very surprised though if he does.
Yeah, I mean,
3 spinners playing for me.
let us not get fooled by the thing, because see what worked in Dharamshala last time around, it was pitch conditions. Overhead had nothing to do with it, and luckily on all the 4-5 days it was sunny, so there was no problem when it came to see early morning, as is there in all the cases in any kind of pitch that you play, there will be a bit of moisture which will ensure that okay, because it's colder, the moisture will remain for a longer period of time also. The freshness will remain for a slightly longer period of time. But apart from that, in Dharamshala, you can only get assistance from the wicket. Forget overhead and forget about wind or any of those kind of things. It doesn't give you that much of assistance there in Dharamshala. Doesn't.
Yeah, the other point of the 11, before we take all the questions, there is a small matter of a Rajat Patidar. Rohit Sharma. Matter of speaking, Rohit Sharma did come out in the press conference. He was asked this question. He said Patidar has not scored as many runs as he would have liked to, but the guys have a lot of ability. I have seen him play very good cricket. He's a good talent. When you see certain players, I call them
A talent player. The talent player is if he sees certain players by the way how they are approaching the game, by how they practice, by how they are looking. He won't call them a talented player, he'll call them a talent player, meaning he has got potential and he needs to be persisted with for a longer period of time. And looking at Rohit's statement in the press conference, I think Patidar is getting one more game. Padikkal may not have to, he may not make his debut.
I think he's really spelled it out by saying this.
Yes.
I mean, we were of all of the agreement that he should be given another game. Now that the series is decided, you already won
I think
it.
Shane was leaning towards Patidar.
Patidar. I mean, as I said, there's no right or wrong answer. But now, just to assess from what the captain has said, it does give you an idea that they are leaning this way. They want to give him another chance, which is fair enough. He said, because we don't play him now, I don't at this age, for him to come back into the test team may be unlikely. So why not?
You've played him, Siddharth, notwithstanding Rohit's comments.
Yeah, I would have, because see, you backed, sir. This management believes in backing players. The KS,
but
no.
Bharat got cut off.
But after 7 tests, you played him for a good 7-8 tests,
And series.
Yeah, but then 3 matches, he's just into his 4th test, Rajat Patidar. Maybe you would want to see.
Prasidh Krishna got cut after a poor South Africa test match.
For the bowlers, it's a different yardstick, I'm telling you. For batters, it's a different yardstick. That's India for you. Different rules for batters, different rules for bowlers in that sense. KS Bharat got 7 tests, and that too 4 or 5, I'm saying he played in actually bad pitches. Let me be very honest about it.
Whole of BGT, yaar.
Yeah, except, see, but he didn't capitalize even on featherbed in Ahmedabad. That's the one thing which went against him. Oval also, sporting wicket didn't make use of it.
And this series.
Hyderabad didn't make it. Jurel, he's already done what KS Bharat couldn't do for 7 tests.
True.
No brain.
And looking at it, why would you want to give another debutant and complicate the entire situation?
What is to complicate? I mean, there's no
If Padikkal does well, but we don't know whether he
No, but that's a quote unquote good problem.
But
Good headache. Good headache.
whatever that
there is no good headache, by the way. Headaches are bad. Come in whatever form.
But it's often used. It was used in this press
It
conference.
was a 30-minute long press conference.
Good, no, why are you complaining?
Only
Siddharth didn't have a good time
7 questions.
breaking it down.
7 or 8 questions. But Rohit's answers were 5 minutes.
Lovely, yeah. It was
And refreshing. At least Rohit, there is a joy in doing his press conference because he speaks.
So the
very
silver lining
slowly.
was it was Rohit doing 30 minutes of talking.
Yes. Because he speaks slowly, you can at least write out, okay, he said this. If it was any other guy, for example, Dhruv Jurel was a nightmare. Because he spoke so quickly. And also Akashdeep. Akashdeep only single line answers, but I think he was overwhelmed.
He's one of those actually, if you just, transcribing the whole thing, you can do 1.5x and then...
And you get hooked to Rohit's press con because he will add some funny anecdote on. He said when about Ashwin, as far as his captaincy is concerned, he has stated, यार देखो मैंने स्कूल में तो पढ़ाई नहीं किया था, but यहाँ पर I'm doing a lot more studying than on the cricketing field. That's how challenging the series has been. And on Ashwin, he stated that I've been playing with him ever since under 17. But how the roles have changed. He was a batter, I was a bowler. The roles changed. Luckily for Team India, the roles changed.
Ashwin batted under India.
Interestingly, it's exact change of role. So it's not even batter bowler.
Yeah.
He was an off spinner. Ashwin was a batter.
Yeah.
He's a batter. He's an off
He's an off spinner.
Exactly that.
Exactly.
So it's not even like generic. It's specific.
Exactly. So.
Okay, before we take the question, answer the question, is it going to be 4-1, 3-2? What do you reckon?
4-1.
In Dharamshala?
4-1 India.
4-1.
And England's mathematical chances of WTC also go out of the window.
What about Bami Army fans that have reached 5,000 feet?
You can try and make it Yorkshire, you can try and make it Edgbaston, but India have shown they have beaten England even there also.
And now that Bumrah is back,
Bumrah's back.
The chance is also gone.
Exactly.
And Jurel firing.
Jurel firing.
Also in their team.
And you've got Kuldeep, you've got Ashwin, Jadeja, all in prime form.
And you could be singing praises, and there's already enough reason to. Yashasvi Jaiswal could end up breaking Sunny G's record, who knows?
119 away.
Yeah. Shubman Gill's looking very good.
And Gill has been a clutch player in the second innings. He's a second innings clutch player, Shubman Gill.
This Indian team, tough to beat. 4-1 I'd also reckon. Okay. Swal de deji.
Oops.
Venkata Nanduri from the US. Hunky dory now. If you lose the 5th test match, knives out for Rohit.
Huh?
No, I don't think so.
No. See, I think you have to look at the Rohit Sharma press conference and see, understand how he managed to win the series. I mean, you all acknowledge that it is a huge feat that he's done. And you are not playing any kind of test matches until September, October. So the knives will not be out. He is your only option that is there. No.
Yeah, I don't think so. Nice.
He will
Knives
be there.
would have been out had he lost the series.
Yes.
He would have been the first captain in many years to lose a series at home. All that he's avoided despite the fact that he lost the first test match.
Exactly.
And it's been methodological. I mean, it's not just been random. Like, we won it. I think they planned the whole thought of going with a certain kind of pitches, the combinations to play, a lot of things. And we criticized Rohit on certain occasions where he was found wanting. But overall, he found phases of play where he was one step ahead of the game. So
he absorbed the pressure in Vizag. His plans were spot on on day 3 of the 3rd test.
Exactly what he said as well in today's presser. That he spends a lot of time trying to understand the opposition. He said, in fact, I'm a batter first, then a captain. But that's also tell you how sincerely he takes his batting as well, and it's reflected.
You have played with a middle order that is just about not even combined 10 tests old, and you managed to win against this England team who we are all thinking, okay, can give India a big challenge. But they have challenged, but the results are not gone their way.
True. Pranit Datta says a little bit of change in topic. That's okay. We don't mind. He says, you guys made your IPL all-time 11. Here's mine. This is his. Shikhar McCallum. Oh my God. Shikhar McCallum, Raina, Surya, MSD, Hardik, Russell, Rashid, Chahal, Bumrah, Malinga. 12th man is movie. Interesting. But I guess a lot of this 11, I can't see too many people agree or make a similar 11, but it could also be a sentimental 11, which is possible. A lot of us sometimes pick a player or two, on how we perceive them, or one of our favorite players we try and play. But thank you for your 11. For those of you who haven't checked that video out, it's still there. Do check it out. Put in your comments and let us know what your ideal 11 could be and where is it that we missed out. Venkata Nandru once again.
Sachin, many tests with 90% strike after 100 slows.
reverse?
No, what he's saying is that his strike rate would be almost around 90, and then after he got 100, he would slow down. But I don't recall that. I'm not sure. I'll have to
Also,
check.
it's counterintuitive, right? You got into your 100, why would you slow down after that?
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember.
I also can't remember.
Yeah.
I mean, he played too
Venkata,
many
we'll have to
innings.
check that
Yeah.
to get. But top of my head, I can't remember that being a trend. No. Rakesh Bhushan says Rahane 11 was made with leftovers with no choice. Rohit never got the 11 because of fitness issues. Max output with limited resources is a hallmark of captain. I will always place Rohit Rahane as the best skipper than Virat. I think, in Virat's case also some really outstanding wins. Yeah. So very tough. We'll have to do a very quantitative, qualitative analysis, sit back and to compare. Right now, at a macro level, both Virat and Rohit were undefeated at home. Both Virat and Rohit did well abroad. Both Virat and Rohit reached the WTC final only to lose.
Yeah.
So
Both
it's been
Virat and
quite-
Rohit never won an ICC event as captain.
It's quite similar. That's what I'm
Similar,
saying.
yeah.
Just at a macro level, I'm looking at. But
Yep.
if you want a detailed thing, you'll have to go down. And missing out on big players, it's happened before also. You could argue that. Not always did Virat have the best of Jasprit Bumrah. He only started to emerge towards the end of his captaincy. But he made do with Ishant Sharma, Umesh Yadav, and,
Bhuvneshwar Kumar.
Kumar. So again,
Siraj at times.
In his captaincy tenure, 16-17, Ash and Jaddu were at the peak.
yes,
That
Yes.
helped
I
him.
think he got that.
And then after that, he built upon his fast bowling. And because of that, you won in 18 onwards. You won overseas on so many occasions.
You have to say that Virat started that trend of, dismantling or rather picking up all 10 wickets of the opposition and the ability to bowl seamers at all times.
I mean, you also had an awesome quartet then also. Ishan, Umesh, Shami,
Shami.
Bumrah, /
Siraj.
It
Yes.
was an awesome quintet if you were to look at it. So, International 3-1-9-1 from the US is saying IPL T20 World Cup 8 tests versus New Zealand / Australia. I would rest Jasprit. I mean, see, 3 tests versus New Zealand, 2 versus Bangladesh.
So let's go one by one. IPL, is he resting?
No way.
T20 World Cup, is he
No
resting?
way.
8 tests versus New Zealand, Australia.
Maybe rested in bits for New Zealand and Bangladesh.
But I think the point he's making is that he would have wanted Jasprit Bumrah to rest in this particular tournament. Because so much cricket coming up and you won this series, what's the need? And I think he makes a valid point.
But I think he's getting into rhythm for IPL. After such a break, I'm getting into rhythm for IPL.
There's DY Patil happening.
But he's not playing DY Patil.
Could have.
He wants to make it in the big stage. Test match. I'll bowl into rhythm.
I love that. By the way, in all of this, hats off to a 42-year-old Jimmy Anderson, who is playing his 4th test on the trot.
And he's 2 away from 700.
Yeah. So just we talk about workload and so on and so forth. I agree that he's not playing IPL and other formats like Bumrah is. But listen, man, 4th test is there.
And to have those fitness levels, those abs, at 41.
But the bigger question, after Dharamshala, could it be the end of Jimmy? 700 final, hurrah, that's it.
No, he would have announced it at that place.
But Alistair Cook also was in the middle of the test match at the Oval. Because I think now with the way how England's baseball and the pitches have been made, the Ashes 25-26 is a bridge too far for him.
Yeah.
Ideally, he would have wanted to retire during the Ashes.
But
He
again,
would play a test at home and retire. I think he would want to do that.
He's got 6 tests coming up versus West Indies and Sri Lanka.
2 against the West Indies, right? 3.
3 against both West Indies and Sri
He'd
Lanka.
want to do that at home, I guess.
And that'll be fitting.
Maybe go past the late great Shane Warne. He's only 10 away from him.
7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Yeah.
Wow. Praneeth Datta, I hope Kuldeep is not left out of this test. He has hardly played test cricket. He did make his test debut in Dharamshala. Absolutely go down a bit here, Pawan. Yeah. Where he took 4 wickets, and what a game-changing 4 wickets it was. Steve Smith was scoring a century, and yeah, but there is a reason you can check out in the PC that I've done, Praneeth, that why Kuldeep couldn't play that much, because Ashwin Jaddu could not be dropped at home, even for bowling and batting.
And I think Rohit also mentions that Kuldeep, the bowler, has now understood why is it that he could not play. There were a few
Yep.
things that he talks about. So he feels that he's matured enough to really understand.
Exactly. So, Ashish Dhar, could KL have avoided wicket keeping in World Cup as quadriceps injury resurfaced again and kept him out of action for England tests? But that is the role he exactly wanted to do, so that he could stay in the team.
Exactly, because otherwise he wouldn't have gotten into the team after he sort of, fell out of favor.
Sure, see, KL as a batter alone might have done well in the Indian team, but then it was not a guarantee. He would stay on only as a batter. Ishan Kishan was breathing down his neck. What would you do then?
Yeah.
So you had to keep. It was desperation. As a keeper bat, I have to contribute.
That was an Ishan Kishan who had performed regardless of where you had asked him to bat.
A double 100, who gets dropped after scoring a double 100? Just ask Karun Nair, whose luck is even more wretched. Dropped after triple 100.
Okay, they're saying Yashasvi Jaiswal is the first left-hander batter who has succeeded in test after Ganguly retirement. Jaiswal scored 600 runs, Virat did it thrice in 14, 16, 18. But hello,
There was a certain
Shikhar Dhawan, Rishabh Pant.
Of course. Maybe, okay, if you're looking as an opener or a top order.
But Shikhar.
Shikhar.
In fact, he's got more hundreds than 50s.
Yeah.
If you look at
There are
it.
a few there. Come on. There.
Yeah.
There rakho.
Jaiswal, 119 away from Sunny G's record, 774.
774.
And if he hits a double 100, then he's
then
in
you'll go to-
even greater company then. He's only he'll be the second most, if I'm not mistaken.
No, third, no? I
Third.
think.
Wally Hammond with 839.
Ah.
But he'll be, if he hits a double 855.
Yeah, we had done the calculation. It slips my mind now.
Yeah. 774, that's the only aim now for Yashasvi Jaiswal.
He's about 50 odd away from Kohli's.
692, that's what Kohli did against Australia in that 2014-15 series. 692 in the BGT, where Smith made 720 plus.
Okay, quick question. Krish Raj says, do you think Virat should open in T20 World Cup? Interesting question.
What do you do with Yashasvi then?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to play either of Yashasvi or Rinku. That
And
is the situation.
That we tried to look at earlier also. It's very tough. But I think now, that Virat is in the scheme of things, he's been selected. He's definitely going to be part of your 11.
Yep.
Now you decide whether he bats at 3 or he opens. I
Could-
think 3 could be an option.
Yeah, he will bat at 3 only.
Yeah.
But then see, you can't play a Shubman. Because Yashasvi, Rohit, Virat, that's your top 3.
Yeah,
Surya
but
will
Shubman
have.
was sitting out anyway.
Yeah.
He sat out Afghanistan, so
Surya
that's
is your bona fide number 4.
4. Yeah.
Number 5,
5 is
Hardik.
Pandya.
6,
6 is your.
Rinku.
Yeah.
6 is either Jitesh, Rinku, whatever.
Yeah,
6,
Jitesh
7.
will have to play. He's your only keeper.
Yeah.
Ishan is not in the scheme of things.
Anyway, that will it gets
This
very tough when
Jadeja
we make
also-
the 11.
I'll play a game of
Play-
chess. That's easier. This
After
11
the
is
test
not.
match.
Yeah.
But our previous analysis did suggest that only one between Yashasvi or Rinku could play.
Yes. That's
So-
the most unfortunate thing.
Yes. Okay, Akash Vada says, guys, if there was a World 11 team made to beat India in test, who is the captain? Why would you need a World 11? India has lost both WTC finals without a World 11.
Yeah.
So New Zealand 11 and Australia 11 have beaten them.
Combined. Yes.
Need a World 11. At home? Okay, then that could be another question. To beat India, who would the captain with all Fab 3 there in Root, Smith and Williamson? Who's the captain?
Williamson, obviously.
I guess. Yeah, Williamson. Easy answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Abhishek Banik.
Yeah.
And he says, Nikhil sir, what is the opinion about Indian team against Australia in upcoming BGT? Pant as wicketkeeper is available. My choice, Rohit Sharma, Jaiswal, Gill, Virat Kohli.
Rishabh Pant, Rahul / Jurel, Jaddu, Ash, Bumrah, Siraj, Akash.
No, then I think Jurel will miss out because Rahul on form, you'll play him as a batter.
Batter. Yeah.
You will. I've been very impressed with Jurel, but I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
You'll go with that experience. And then RP is your keeper then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jaddu, Ash, Bumrah, Siraj, Akash. Very good team, by the way, Abhishek. Very good team. That will be a team.
Although in
Ideal
case
11.
of Akash Deep, I would play a Prasidh, hit the deck.
Good, though he didn't have great
He didn't have
numbers,
good times.
so
Yes,
you might
South
go with an
Africa,
Akash.
yeah.
Not surprising, but I think there'll be many more games before that to really take a call.
Yep.
Freaking Awesome says last time when we played in Dharamshala against Australia, it assisted spin more. Are we going to play on the same pitch? A pitch by that time to now, it doesn't even count as a pavement. They've all been relayed, my friend.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very different from that. Divyang says, favorite Ashwin performance for him, Melbourne 2021 and Bangalore 17.
For me, Bangalore, right up there. Because Australia were chasing 175, you're 1-0 down. If he had not gotten those 6 wickets, the series was over for India.
Yeah.
That is why. Defending 175, giving Kohli a new lease of life.
Or Dhaka, the fifer that he took.
Chattogram, you mean?
It was
Chattogram 22, right?
No, 17.
17, they didn't
16,
go to
17.
Bangladesh. They didn't go to Bangladesh. Bangladesh came to India for a test in Hyderabad.
Fifer against Bangladesh. I'm just trying to recall. Was it 22?
22,
No.
yeah. Chattogram, that's when they
Got
went.
runs with the bat as well.
Yeah.
Over.
But for me, it's Bangalore, right up there.
Yeah. But even Melbourne 2021.
I mean, he made Smith absolutely look foolish in that test series.
And after that, to follow it up in the next test match with the...
I would rate Sydney more than
Sydney,
Melbourne
yeah.
with the bat.
No, bat to 100%.
He didn't have a good time with the ball though. That's the problem. But you remember Ash and Hanuma Vihari with the bat played out 42 overs and ensured the BGT was alive heading into Brisbane. So,
Yeah. Okay, Nishant Thakur wants to know what, according to me, is the best season for a batter in IPL. For me, it is Rishabh Pant. He scored almost 680 runs. I remember that season with 172, which was in Delhi. I think it came.
yeah.
None of the players other than him contributed much that season.
128 was the Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Yeah. I mean, an impossible situation won the game from them. I think few seasons that come. David Warner, the season that
848.
they won, the season they won the title.
Kohli 973.
Kohli 973.
Kohli, I think, yeah. Not just the number of runs, but the form that he was in.
Consistency, next level.
Amazing. Maxwell,
Oh, 2014.
2014,
yeah.
was just crazy.
I would say
Lots of them, yeah.
Robin Uthappa in 2014, 664.
Yeah. Yes.
He had, I think, 8 or 9 consecutive scores of 40 plus as an opener. Set up, he was the key factor in KKR's win. Then
Chris Gale, what year was that?
733
730 run.
to 2012, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
2012 or 2013, one of those years.
Yep. Lost in the final.
Yeah.
Lost in the final.
No,
That-
13.
30.
No.
Where did he lose?
11, that was 11.
Where Mulli Vijay got a...
Yeah, and Hassi.
Gale got out pretty early.
Ashwin got him.
Ashwin got him, correct.
Then I would look at MS Dhoni 2018. That was the
finishing.
coming down. He was beast mode in that.
But I'm going with Virat Kohli.
970. Oh,
Just
brainer,
next
yaar.
level. Next level. But good shout on Pant as well. Huh?
Yeah.
He was... Actually, that's when Pant was beginning to be noticed. People thought that here's a guy who can single-handedly win you games, can be destructive. Could just
I mean, 17-18 was the golden year for Rishabh Pant. The fastest 100 in a Ranji Trophy, triple century in a Ranji Trophy. Already 1,000 runs by about 6 matches. He had already gotten there. And IPL 128 fast-tracked him to the Indian team. His first aggressive shot was a 6 of Moeen Ali.
Final question. Siddharth wants to know from you, Harshit. Do you also buy this argument that Portugal has more chances in Euro excluding CR7?
No. I think in some capacity he's got to be there. He may not be in the 11, let's say, but you've got to have a CR7 on the bench. Maybe he can come on as a super sub, maybe, and I still expect him to score goals in that ability if he does. So,
Maybe
yeah.
his 7th Euro. Man, oh man. I remember the guy who...
When they won, they lost to Greece in the final.
Greece, 1-0.
Yeah, 1-0.
Oh man, I remember those tears.
Yep.
Angelo Caristeas, I think, scored that goal. I think in both the games, I think it was Caristeas who
2004
scored.
was that?
Yeah,
4.
I think Caristeas scored in both the games that Greece played against Portugal. I think Greece beat them even in the league game and also in the final.
That was one of the biggest upsets in sport. Greece winning the Euro.
And since then, they haven't made any headway.
No, they won now.
After 2004, where did they make it?
Portugal.
No, I'm talking about
Greece.
Caristeas.
Okay, on that note, thank you so much as always for giving us company. We'll see you tomorrow. We start early. It's test match day, test match morning. Excited as always.
Of course, Dharamshala. Wow.
Yeah. So 8:45 we'll be live.
Yep.
Much before the toss is done. So look forward to your company then and throughout the test match. Take care. Bye bye.
All 4 days.
5 days.
4. He's
Oh,
right.
he is right. Not a single test has gone to 5 days, by the way. But tomorrow with rain, I think it might go. There is a 75% chance of rain tomorrow in Dharamshala.
We'll see.
Let's see.
Take care. Bye bye. Vanakkam. Nandri.
Nandri.
Shabba khair.
Shubh Ratri.
Eat your vegetable.
And don't trouble your mother. Bye bye.